It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word.
We on a mission and that's bringing y'all the truth. You know the problem, but we get into the root. The devil watching, yeah, he always on pursuit. But Jesus is our rock, so we shall not be moved. We on a winning team, so we can't lose. We say facts, cause we hitting y'all with proof. Started from the bottom, now we standing on the roof. As God as our witness, we gon' make it to the moon. When you want the truth, the world be hiding it. This the real word, we providing it. We got Ace, BK, Truth, Rick Star, and we plan to make a movie like it's Pixar. We came a long way from the plantation. We just tryna save your souls from damnation. So if you down with the message, tune in every week. It will lead you to the message that you seek.
It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word. It's the real word.
Shout out to everybody that's been watching. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting us so far, thus far. This is The Real Word, Season 7, Episode 24.
Like Kobe.
Yeah. You already know. Last episode was Jordan. This one is Kobe. So shout out to everybody that's been watching. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting. Shout out to everybody that watched last week's episode. Shout out to everybody that's been watching us so far. You can catch us on the Brick Network every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m., 4 p.m. 12 noon, 4 p.m. and 1 a.m. You can also catch us on Facebook, facebook.com/therealword7. That's the Real Word 7, like Mike Vick. Also on Instagram at therealword Ministries Inc. And on podcasts on Apple Podcasts, Pandora, SoundCloud, and Spotify. I'm here with my co-host. Introduce yourself.
You already know it's the one and only AI in the building. Add me on Instagram. Irving11, No 11. I'm doing something different this time. I'm drinking pH balanced water.
Yeah. We got the fancy water today.
It tastes better though. Like I ain't gonna lie, it's weird. It's like all waters don't really taste the same.
Facts. So yeah, we coming off of 2 good events that we just had recently in person. For those that don't know, we've been trying to rebuild the church, as in like, you know, we all went through that PTSD, whether we like to admit it or not, where like, you know, we dealt with that trauma, and it's like we slowly trying to crawl back. It's like the older people, a lot of them deceased. There was a lot of funerals last year, unfortunately. And then on top of that, the youth now, like, they always told the youth that the youth would be the church of tomorrow, but that tomorrow is now.
Yeah, it is now.
So it's like, you look at the old people, a lot of them is gone. The ones that are here still, like, they look tired, you know, they dealing with a lot. And it's like the kids stay home most of the time with the moms or something. And so now it's like, it's just the youth now that gotta hold it down.
That's true.
So what you think about that?
I think it was a very good experience, because the one thing I know, like, you know, me growing up, I could say I was a hothead, right? Because I always used to I ain't really speak too much. I ain't really like speaking. So I used to just, you know, keep a lot of things boiled up. And I realized, like when you keep everything boiled up, it's like you're going to explode one day. And when you're going to explode, you're going to explode with a lot of aggression. So it is good to really find a way to release the energy, whether, I don't know, some people box and all that other stuff, but you gotta find a way to release the energy, because if you don't release the energy, it's just gonna build up, and the more it builds up, it's just a toxic situation waiting to explode. And from just, you know, doing it, you know, it got a little spicy, but, you know, it's good though, because you're just releasing the energy. You need to get it out, because everybody felt abandoned and all that, but we needed to let the energy out. And I could say most definitely you do need to let the energy out, man, because I say I grew a lot. Like I can't, from way back then, I used to be the kid where you tell me shut up and I'll be ready on go. So I guess I grew up a lot, because I remember my 5th grade teacher telling me, you're not gonna make it to you're not gonna make it to 21 because you're gonna be in jail. And I'm 24. I never been in jail. So haha to my teacher. Yeah, not gonna work.
So yeah, man. So one of the things that we were complimented on was the ability to have a safe space where people could actually say how they really feel, and they could really express themselves. Because usually people feel confined, especially places like church. That's a place where it's like strict.
And you just try to, basically, you know, when we all in church, like, let's really be honest. Outside of church, like, you really try to keep it outside. Like, you just try to go, cause we all know church is basically strict. They molded this tradition where you gotta come in perfect, and none of us is perfect in there. Like, let's be real. Like, none of us is perfect at all. So it's like the strict part. I think that's just a tradition or a system that's old. That's always going to be in play, regardless what generation you grew up in. It's never gonna change. Like we could be 60 years old, it's still gonna be the same system.
One of the points that you had made was that it's just time for a change, as in, like, we have to minister outside of the four walls. Like, we can't do four-wall ministry. You can't. The reason why I say you cannot do the four, because me personally, I call it SDA, the four-wall ministry. Like, I don't call it really SDA, especially after COVID. Yes, because who was really outside during COVID? We was, not the four-wall ministry. We was the one outside. And the reason why I say four-wall ministry is because I always keep saying this. Like, when situations get hot, you can't really hide. You can't really put on the mask no more, because that mask is gonna get taken off. You're gonna reveal yourself. And during COVID, they revealed themselves like, look, we a four-wall ministry. We don't really do much outside the church. Like, because at the end of the day, like, there was a guy that preacher, he said that, like, if you speak to people outside the four-wall ministry, they don't know what the hell the SDA is. They don't know what the SDA do. They know more organizations that be, you know, like what we do, going outside, giving out clothes stuff. They know those people more than what the SDA is. And that sounds crazy, right? Because it's like, the SDA, what do they preach? Helping others, giving back, or trying to bring people to God. But it's like, wasn't God, when he was here, he was feeding people and all the other stuff? Like, he was feeding everyone. And it wasn't like he was feeding just holy people. He even was on a cross with a guy that was a killer and all that, and he got saved. One of the things that I want to implement as the iServe coordinator is, like, now that we have a network of churches, because that's literally what we have. We have a group of churches and different leaders from all churches. Yeah. And it's like, now, if I'm in this position where it's like I'm an overseer of this particular thing, which is serving the community and showing compassion to one another, like a display of love, we could use these network of churches to combine and connect. It's like everybody set up distribution places to receive donations. Yeah. So like, it's like, you have a building, right? You have a storage place. I have a plug for you to get cheap stuff, and you could put it in your building. Your people in your church, they need it. It's like, they just don't know where to get it from. Yeah, you know what I really thought of? Imagine in the future, you know, instead of, alright, you see how we was just in Flatbush in December giving out. Imagine where in one day we probably in 4 different boroughs. Yeah. I think you could do it. Yeah. But the church, if like the church really take it serious and like, yo, we gonna do stuff outside, I 100% believe that can happen. Cause like, you don't really, because we don't really come with too much people, so just a small group could really get it done. And they come with bigger groups, so that means more things can be done. That means, like, we don't gotta just be in Flatbush. We don't gotta be just in one location. We be everywhere. But now you can't just talk now because everyone's watching. Exactly. That's why I said talk is cheap, and that's why I said, like, in terms of the church, if they really want their people back, they're gonna have to try something different, try something new.
Cause like, it's like everybody got woke up. It's like everybody like when we was doing the whole I serve thing, like, and all the youth been speaking, and they've all been feeling it. They all said it the same, like, we're tired of the old stuff. They tired of it. It's like they don't want to hear the watered down stuff no more. They want something that's gonna really affect them in the heart, like make their heart beat. And like if we're doing all the same things we was doing prior from COVID, then that's not gonna make their heart beat. That's just gonna make them like sit in the church and be like ready to sleep or be on their phones. Because it's like, oh man, y'all done expose yourself and we doing the same thing, acting like nothing ever happened. And that's the worst thing you could do. Act like something never happened. Because what's that doing? That's building up a ball inside of you that's toxic, that y'all supposed to release. Because it won't be normal after that. So it's like, yeah, you have to have the change. Because if you don't have the change, this is going to be going back to the same thing, and that's just going to be toxic. Because like we all know, like, yo, really, this just happened, but we just going to act like we was watching the movie Black and White, and he just flicked the picture and then everything disappeared like nothing ever happened. We can't. It's not the movie. So
For the first big event, you can say within Franco-Haitian, within the SDA church for us for this year, like how do you think this Saturday went for the first event?
I mean, I was surprised. The church was packed, and like it was majority of youth. I was actually happy for that, because the reason why I'm happy for that, because I connect more with the youth than with the old people. Because it's like the one thing I realized about old people, like, man, they're so old, like they already have a system set in their soul from like way back, and plus most of them, most of them probably grew up in Haiti. There's really a difference between a Haitian and Haitian American. Somebody that been spending like majority of the youth here is like, you're really a Haitian American, really. So it's like, it's really different. It's like it's harder to connect with them, because like they grew up in a whole different system. Haiti system different from American system, and most people that is in Haiti system, they don't really adapt too much.
But here's the thing, though, right? We could keep arguing and talking about the old system. A lot of members of that old system died, like they're gone now.
Yeah, so
and
that's why
the few that are left, like they're tired. It's time for the youth to take over. One of the issues that I have with the youth, and this is something that they told us growing up, like they warned us about, is that a lot of us don't take things seriously, and we're not good, and we're not disciplined enough. Meaning that you see how the older folks, they can run a program every week the same way. Like, yeah, it gets boring, and yeah, like it's religion. Like everybody in union together, pushing together. So it's like they have that structure where they could run that play 100 times, but sometimes they give it to us, and we like running around. Everybody's late, and it's like,
yeah, that's the one thing I'll give it to them. They are more disciplined with their system. That's the thing about the youth. Like, yeah, you can have the mindset too, but you need the discipline. Like, you gotta have the discipline. Because if you don't have the discipline, then you're just gonna go back to all the old habits.
so why you think when there's a lack of discipline, why you think that people feel offended when you call them out on it or reprimand them for it?
Because a lot of people, basically, the reason why a lot of people do that is because I think in this world, a lot of people can't really handle the truth, because, a lot of things around us is fake. So it's like, most people are accustomed to fake. Like, I believe that truth is stranger than fiction, because a lot of things revolve around us are fake. It's just, entertainment. It's just to entertain you.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know when you entertain, you're distracted. So that's what I feel like. But I don't feel like that's just really just for the SD. I think that's for the whole globe. Like, a lot of people cannot handle the truth. Like, a lot of people rather be baby majority of their life than hear the truth. Now, me, I'm not one of those people. I'd rather just hear the truth, because let's get straight to the point, man. But it's because they can't handle the truth, man. And plus, in the church, it's like a lot of the truth is finally exposing itself amongst the church, and it's like they can't handle it.
It's a lot of pressure you're saying right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure.
The way I compare it to is we're going through the Exodus, as in like we're coming out of slavery and we're waking up and we're in the wilderness, as in we're lost in the place and we're trying to find ourselves. And because we're lost in the wilderness, we're looking for a leader to lead us out of that wilderness. But at the same time, we're criticizing them because we all have our own issues. And it's like we all saying that we believe in this God, but then there's so much politics between us as man. We're still like going back and forth, so we're wasting more time in the wilderness, just like the people in Exodus. Like,
yeah, that's a fact. But the thing is,
and wait, it's the same exact thing as in like they were in the wilderness for so long that the old people that was leading died, and then the young people had to come and get them out of there.
Yeah, but the young, it's like black people wasn't ready for this pressure. Because, you know, before COVID, I think a lot of people were asleep. A lot of people, you know, starting to wake up more. Because it's like COVID I think COVID is really like I call it the New World Order. Because it really is a reset, really. Because everybody got affected. And when everybody get affected, you can't escape it, man. Not one single soul could escape it. Unless you ain't born, that's the only way you could escape it. But other than that, COVID, nobody escaped that. It was like a reset. Like we live in it's like, yeah, we're still on the same planet, but it's like you feel like you live in a new world. Everybody moved different. It's a restructure. It's a new world order, and a lot of people wasn't ready for that. They was expecting like, okay, all right, yes, you know, when they finally said, all right, we release y'all could go outside now. And they just thought going outside everything was going to be the same, but it's like, nah, buddy.
It's like in the movies when they let them out the hole and they coming out, they're like, this and this.
Yeah, they're like, oh my goodness. But that's how it really is. People really thought, okay, when they heard the news that whatever day that they said, all right, you could go outside, they said you could go outside, they thought everything was going to go back to normal, but everything didn't go back to normal. They're realizing that, damn, I was having fun all this time, because during COVID, like, I was seeing mad foreign whips in the hood. I was seeing party buses all over Manhattan. Yeah.
I was drinking good. Vacay. The yams all day.
At one point, which is so crazy, the unemployed was living better than the employed.
And then like, everybody quit.
Exactly. To the point where the employed people was like, yo, why they living better than me? And I'm at work. Am I not supposed to be the one that's living better? But yeah, at one point, so it's like, time really passed by so fast. And
but then look at this. They fired the people that didn't want to take the shot, but that was willing to get tested every week so they wouldn't have to take the shot. They kept all the people that would take the shot and show proof of vaccination, and that left a lot of jobs open. So then they filled it with whoever they could find to get those jobs. If you was in the right spot, you came up.
Yeah.
But so at the same time now they saying that you could have it, but as long as you got the shot, you can go to work and it help treat people that might have it or that might not have it. So it's like it got confusing, man. Like, it's like the world.
COVID is a big question mark. It's like,
and then we found out that the test don't even really work, because if you have it and then 3 months later you will take the test, and within 3 months if you take the test again, even if you don't have, you still gonna come up positive.
Yeah, man. Like all these people, they claim they're expert, but it's like, where's the real expert? Right? Like,
yeah, shit crazy.
Because it's like, COVID is really a big question. Well, like, everybody saying all of this, it's like everybody got to say, but like, which one's the truth?
Yeah, I be thinking about all that, but do you feel like, and it's a question that's been asked on this platform a few times, like, do you feel like people are waiting for that Christ-like person, like that Messiah to come save them?
Yeah, I feel like they all feeling like waiting for the Messiah to save them, but at the same time, I feel like in terms of the youth-wise, they want more like somebody that could resemble a bit of them, like a piece of their life, a bit. of them, because then like when you because for the youth wise, if you haven't dealt with a similar situation or surrounding whatever, then they gonna be like, yo, I can't relate to you. So they want more somebody they could at least have some type that they could relate to something, like, because then for the youth wise, like when they could relate, they respect you more. I could say that's 100%. I could speak for that when it comes to the youth. Like they want more somebody they could relate. Like if they can't really relate to them, they're like, okay, like you never went through any of this, or like well,
you don't want to admit to have gone through any of this, so you could look better than me.
Exactly. So like, yeah, in terms of the youth, if you relate, then they don't look at you as a brick wall. But if you can't relate, then they look at you as a brick wall, really. That's why some of the youth fall asleep in church, like, because it's like, yo, I can't relate to you, man. So it's like speaking empty words to souls, really.
But I see that we are building back, like brick by brick, we starting to build back up, just like how America's starting to build back up. Everyone is starting to, like, you know, pick themselves back up and, you know, roll. It's like we're recovering, and again, that's what I'm talking about, that PTSD, like that shock, and it's like, will it happen again? Like you hear some people begging to go back into quarantine, like, like why quarantine ain't coming back yet? I can't do this. And some people was like damn, like I'm good, like, you know, I'm not gonna let this get to me. Like, I'm still gonna live my life.
Some people, they don't want the quarantine. They're like, yo, we don't want to go back to trauma again.
Yeah.
Cause some people still like, yo, we ain't finished. We still going through the first one as we speak today. But it's like a main point I said, like, when you have a situation and like when you live it in the past is your new reality. That past controls you now. Like you cannot let one negative situation outweigh your whole life. Cause once it outweighs your whole life, then like, man, I would advise people not really be around you too much, because like you just gonna really try to make everybody else around you more miserable, really, because you know misery loves misery. So it's like, yeah, like you can't really like that's why I keep saying, like, yo, like people need to like not sometimes let things go, because it's like, bro, you cannot let your situation outweigh your whole life, because that's taking up years, and you take it up, it takes up years. You can't. Time is either your best friend or your enemy, and you can't let it take up all that time. Like you really can't.
Facts. And I think like now that we are slowly recovering, we slowly are coming back together, and people are pushed to do better right now. I feel like, especially like whatever it is that's motivating them, because I feel like we needed this thing, because it shook up the block. Like it's like that Pop Smoke song, I bet I shake the room.
Nah, we needed it. I'm happy it happened, really. I could say I'm one person. I think, like, I'm gonna say the reason why I believe COVID is something that everybody needed. The reason why I believe COVID is something that everybody needed is because I thought a lot of people were asleep and we was being entertained, having fun. You know, when you having fun, you don't really learn anything off just having fun. It's just like when you keep winning, you don't really learn nothing, because it's like you don't know how to adjust, and we all know life is about adjusting, adaptation. If you don't know how to adapt, then like you're gonna drown. So like I think in life, a lot of we don't, in life, once you're born, you got a death date, and everybody knows that. So we just gotta deal with it. It's just that we don't know what it is. But it's like you gotta learn how to adapt. But I think COVID was really kind of, I ain't want it to be like this, but in terms of like waking people up, that's why I feel like it was good for, because it's better to be awake than to just be asleep and not know what's going on. So I feel like it was needed. Now, yeah, some people are still gonna cry, but like, if you're still here, like, take that as a blessing. Like, you could make it. Like, don't if you're still here, you could make it. Don't keep dwelling on the past. Because if you keep dwelling on the past, that's the time period you're gonna be stuck on, man. And you don't wanna be stuck. You don't wanna be stuck in 2015 and the year is gonna be 2050. Then that means, like, buddy, got a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah, man. But I think the best thing that we can do right now is, like, I think it would be good to like come together, continue to collaborate, share information with one another, continue to build. And I think this gives us a good chance, like especially the other day, Saturday, when we had different people from so many different churches coming together and actually speaking about it. Like we had a representative from a few different places, and we could see how a lot of them was going through similar things.
Yeah, I think we all was going through similar things. It was like it was basically the, like, we all felt it, but it's like it was the unspoken. It was the unspoken finally being spoken, and it was a good thing because, you know, some people, it was a little tense, but it was well needed because you needed to release the energy. Because if you don't release the energy, like when you release it, if you let it ball up too much, the way you release it, you know, it can go one way or the other. But it was well needed. But yeah, I think the church do need, like, you know, they do need they want to see, like, they love seeing when somebody doing good. Like some people, it's either it's gonna motivate them, and you know the other people, they just gonna be intimidated and be haters. But you gotta have, that's what comes with it. So I think there's a lot of people that's gonna be motivated. Yeah, you're gonna have a few haters, but I think overall it's gonna work out well.
We was talking about something earlier because we're from New York, and something that happened recently in New York, a recent tragedy, is the situation in the Bronx, like where there was a fire and I think like 19 people died or something like that.
Yeah, it was 19 people, a few injured. Yeah,
and I think they said 9 of them was kids. They were saying that they had a space heater in the apartment, and then the heater caught on fire, and then it was the smoke that I guess choked everyone out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, like, right now, like, there's a lot going on, man. Like, people's dying everywhere, bro. Like, literally, like, I was saddened by that for the kids, bro, because, you know, like, you know, I'm good with the kids. Yes, I have that talent, and, like, things like that touch me, because, you know, I be with my little sister more, because, like, you know, I want her to have, they need the support and all that, so that really touched me. I'm like, damn, like, it was like people dying left and right. You hear kids like those dying. Then I heard a report about somebody was working at a store and they robbed him, and the fact that she only gave him $100, he killed that woman. Like, I'm hearing a lot of crazy stories, but it's like, bro, like I keep saying, a lot of people inside that was inside, they had like a lot of boiled up emotions, and now you release them, and they're releasing it by killing and all these other stuff. Because like a lot of people still stuck in a situation, and basically like a lot of people really need therapy right now, really. A lot of people really need therapy right now. A lot of people don't want to admit, like, yo, we need therapy, because a lot of people think, like, oh, if you go to therapy, those are, like, the crazy people. Like, man, everybody need therapy, because we all go through stuff. We all go through stuff. People got to stop labeling the stereotype like therapy is for crazy people. Nah, man.
There's a difference between mental health and mental illness.
Exactly.
If you're taking care of your mental health, then you shouldn't have a problem. Like, I guess it gives you better chances from preventing mental illness.
Exactly. But most mental illness happens because you think of that situation too much. That's why I keep saying, like, if you keep see yourself stuck in one situation, that situation is gonna outweigh your whole life, man. Like, you gotta be able to, like, keep going, like, cause, like, in life has a balance. You're gonna have the good days and the bad days. You can't escape the bad days. That's what everybody wanna do, escape the bad days. because people can't handle those. But that's what really decides the type of person you are, like the strong versus the weak. It's the bad days that really tell you who's the real winner, who's the real king and stuff. Not the good days, man. The good days is like we all having fun. That's why I keep mentioning back to the Warriors when they won 73-9. Yeah, they won all those games, but they ain't win a chip. So when they didn't win the chip, they was like, well, we all know what the regular season is. The regular season, you just try to make it to the playoffs. That's it.
Practice.
Yeah, it's practice. You practice for the tough situation. And we all know in that situation, it was the Cavs that was ready. Because, yeah, like they all say about the LeBron, like, yeah, the regular season, he don't care about that, man. He just like, yo, just get me in the playoffs. I'll be all of y'all. That's all I need. That's why I keep saying, like, man, like, the tough situations, you should embrace those. You should, like, I personally say, when I have tough situations, that's when, like, yeah, you know, back then I used to be like, oh my God, why me? But now it's like, all right, let me fix this, let me try it. And the more tough situations you have and, like, you overcome them, that's when, like, if you overcome a lot of tough situations, when tough situations come, you're not going to be sitting there stuck, sitting in a wall, like, oh my goodness, what I'm going to do? Because it's like, you overcame a bit, so it's like, you already know, like, all right, I'm going to keep going. I overcame one, just keep overcoming another one. That's what people need to do, man. It's like, it's not really the wins that determine who you are, it's the L's that determine who you are. Because when you win it, you don't know how to adjust. Because you like, yo, I'm winning, like.
Yeah, but people that's watching from the sidelines, they never know, like, what you be going through behind the scenes, but they still think that, like, you winning all the time, because they only see the trophies, they don't see all the work.
Yeah, but that's just in general. That's just in general how a lot of people view things. They're like, yo, this man never lose. It's like, man, we all take L's, bro. It's just that when we take L's, like, we just know how to bounce back.
Facts.
We know how to fix those. That's why I keep saying, like, it's not about the L, it's not about the W's, it's about the L's. So you need to start looking at yourself like, damn, like, am I really built like this?
Exactly.
Like, you know, that's what the haters do. It's like, you hate. It's like, man, like, man, go work on you, bro. Because it's like, bro, we all go do stuff. I go do stuff. Like, I go do stuff, man. But it's just that I know how to bounce back. That's why I keep saying always have backups. Like, if you don't have backups, you're going to be sitting there stuck. You're going to be sitting there stuck. Like, that's one thing all these, you know, top people, they don't tell you. I hear some top people tell you. I hear some top people, I be watching stuff, and I be hearing some of these top influencers say, oh, if you have a plan A, stay to it, man. They got plan A through Z. I tell you that. And if if they created new alphabets, they'll have those alphabets too. Why? Because they know. When you winning so much, an L's gonna come your way. So they know you need backup. You gotta have backups. You always gotta have backups.
But one thing, there was a recent interview with Meek Mills, and he was saying that, like, he had to move away from a lot of people he used to chill with because they started treating him different, because they said he was moving different, but he was like, they would get mad because he wouldn't let them drive his cars. And, yo, my cars cost $400,000 and you don't even got $40,000 in the bank. Like, yeah, why should I let you drive it? And then he was like, how they kept driving his cars and breaking them at hard, and then he would tell them, yo, don't break that hard, they'll get tight. And he was like, yo, I'm the one that's paying $7,000 for the brakes. Like, why you getting tight? He's like, yo, you got the money. Like, yeah,
but it's like, I agree with the Meek Mill part. It's like, man, what? It's like, yeah, we friends and all that, but that's the thing. Like, a lot of people just think just because you're, it's like a lot of people don't understand principles of life. It's like, bro, it's bigger things. It's like, bro, if I have a $400,000, like, I definitely agree. If I have a $400,000 car and you don't have near that, you're not driving my car, bro. Because when you crash it, you're going to be like, oh, it's like, I'm the one paying for this. You're not paying for it. And if the person pay for it, if somebody paying for something, why are you trying to leave what they're paying? They're paying for it, so they have to say. If you put money on it, then you have a say. But if you ain't, it's just like stocks, like stocks. When companies and stocks, they say you like the letters and stuff, because it's like you have shares within the company. But if you don't have shares within somebody, you have no say. So it's like, yeah. But that's the thing, though. A lot of people is like, I don't know. People just think like they just want everything handed to them. It's like, bro, you gotta put in work, bro. Everybody gotta put in work. People be thinking things just fall out their tree. Like, no, it don't. That's how people think. But I definitely agree. Like when you start elevating your stuff, you can't really be doing all the old stuff you do. You become more, conscious, and you do more critical thinking.
But why do people feel entitled? Because they feel like they know you or they knew the old you. Like, okay, perfect example. Sometimes when people make it like, yo, I know that guy. Like, I used to slap him when he was a kid, this and that, blah, blah. Now look at him. He think he's so big.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people
they just want to feel empowered. That's the thing. Like, people don't support you until it's popular to support you. That's really how society is set up. They don't support you until it's popular to support you.
Most time it's strangers that support you more than the people.
Yeah, bro, it's strangers that show you ways. Strangers show you more support than your own friends, which is crazy. It's the most craziest thing. That sentence is crazy, but it's real, and in 60, 100 years from now, the world still exists, it's still gonna be the same way. That's
like the people sometimes that you could text them and you don't answer, and then you look and you're watching your Instagram story.
Yo, I hate that. I don't know, like that give me a certain job. Like, alright, like, alright. When I see you, yo.
People be doing that. Like,
I hate when people do that. Bro.
That's bad weird. Like,
that is weird as hell. You're like, bro, especially if you watch back to back, it's like, alright, now you playing with me.
But then there's the creepers, like people that you don't hear from years, but then they tell you, yo, I've been watching you throughout the years, I don't comment or press nothing, but I've been watching, man.
Yeah, it's
You've
the
been doing
incognito.
your thing. Like, it's a lot.
Incognito.
Yeah. And there's incognito mode in the web browsers, like you could click incognito mode.
Yeah, man. There's a lot of people that's incognito. They want to be a little creepers.
Cheapest creepers.
Yeah, like, yeah, we watching you. But there's a lot of people watching. That's why, like, when you start limiting yourself, that's why you gotta be more strategic. You gotta have more strategy. You gotta realize, I can't move the same, man. You gotta move different. That's why, like, when me and Mill talking about, yeah, they be in their feelings, but that's the thing, like, a person, you can't really trust a person that's always in their feelings, because emotions is temporary at the end of the day.
Yeah, fine.
You're not going to, the way you wake up today is not the same way you're going to feel waking up tomorrow. So, like, I don't like you got to be more logic, man. Me personally, I'd rather trust a more logic person than a person that's always in your feelings, because, like, if you was in your feelings, it's like, damn, like, one day you're going to do this, that. It's like, man, that's temporary. That's temporary.
That's facts.
And if you holding on to temporary things, that's you holding on to the past. That's why I keep going back to, you keep holding on to past situations, and past situations going to destroy you, man. Like, if you going to have a little breakdown, just have that for probably 5 minutes, then you be like, alright, like a 5 minutes where you have to release it, just release it. And when you listen, just keep going.
But that's something that we spoke about earlier, about like even like growing up, especially in a religious household, a religious Haitian household like we did, like, it's very strict, especially when it comes to like you being young. Like, it's almost like when you're young, your feelings don't matter.
Especially like we Haitians, so we already know how that goes. Like in a Haitian household, they be like, your feelings don't matter. Like Haitian household, things will happen, they'd be like, we're just gonna act like this don't happen. That's what a Haitian household do a lot, like.
Yeah.
And that's why it builds up. It passed down to future generations of ours, and we just gotta break it.
It seemed like when I said that in the room, and I use my friend for an example, the one that went through all the abuse as a kid and then had to act like everything is normal, to the point where she ended up on medication and then ultimately committing suicide. And when I said that, that's still something that's going on even till today, where it's like all of us in here probably is doing the same thing, and then it's like, how do you think your kids feel coming here every week and then they gotta go home and they act like and they go home and they see the real you, and they gotta come to church and act like everything is okay. You don't think that'll drive them crazy?
Nah, it do, bro. It do. That's why, like, everybody need therapy, man. People gotta stop looking at therapy like it's for crazy people. We all do therapy because we all go through things. No individual in the world could dodge tough situations. You're gonna have to face those. And when you face those, like, it's good to let it out. So if you just keep it in, man, like, it's gonna boil you up and it's become mad toxic. And 9 out of 10 people ain't gonna want to be around you like that, man. Like, you trying to press like positive. Like, when you speak, if you speak a lot of positivity, then it will come into your life. But if you always speaking negative, like, man, like, it's just gonna be straight negative coming in your life. Like, you gotta be able to speak more positive, man. Like, you gotta look at the good. Like, you waking up. If you're not there, you waking up the next day. That's a blessing. But it's like today's society became, like I could say today's society became so much. I would say they came dependent on materialistic things. I could say, like, they depend on it so much. Like, they're not happy within themselves. It's like all these materials around them. That's what makes them feel happy. And once those things is gone, it's like you're stuck.
I think the biggest problem is the things that they're willing to do to get those things nowadays. I feel like that's the craziest part, especially, like, no disrespect, but the women, you know, especially like.
Yeah, bro. Yo, I think this is the craziest I've seen women lately. Like, women, like I keep saying, back then women used to be crying when getting exposed. Now it's like they move like guys. And like, I personally like a woman that's more lady. Like, I don't want a lady that act like a dude, because the one thing about a dude is, like, I gotta treat you a certain way, and like, if I gotta treat you like a dude, like, bro, we ain't never gonna be together, bro. We ain't never gonna be together, and we know how dudes is. So it's like, be more ladylike, but women don't want to be ladylike no more. They want to be like dudes. That's how they want to move. They like, I'm a real blah blah. And I want to be treated as a princess. I'm like, no, bro.
They call you bro. What's up, bro?
Yeah, like, no. That's why, like, oh man, we all know, like, a person that when we first meet a girl, we know whether or not we see her as a person that we will marry. We all know, and we want us, man. We don't want to marry a woman that move like a dude. Yeah. We want to marry a lady like women. Move like a lady, but they all want to be dudes. But the thing is, like, these girls want to be both at the same time. Like, they'll have an OnlyFans, but they're like, no, I'm not this type of person. But like, OnlyFans is no different from porn.
But they're getting the bread straight, so I can say, and they feel like they control it.
Yeah, they do control their bread, but it's like I keep saying, like, they don't want to handle the truth. It's like, man, like, you know what type of work you're doing, so.
But I'm gonna give an example, like Mia Khalifa, the lady, the Arabic looking. Yeah. So she recently, like, said in a magazine, or she said in an interview that, like, porn ruined her life, and she feel like she only did, like, I think she said 12 or 13 videos, but those videos seemed like they was everywhere. Yeah,
that was worldwide.
Yeah, and then she feel like now, like, those videos gonna haunt her for the rest of her life.
I mean, it's true. That's true, bro, because that's how it is. Like, you signed up for it, so now you gotta handle the pressure, because you know what comes with that. You know if somebody see you on OnlyFans tour, you already know what they thinking. So, like, yeah, they hate you with all that, but it's like, you signed up for it. You know what comes with that, because before you got into that, that's what you thought it was. So you know what it is. But it's like, people just want to get the money, but they want to get the money, but they don't want to be like, nah, you can't call me this.
Well, they don't want to be shamed.
Yeah, they don't want to be shamed. They just want the money, but don't want to be shamed. But it's like, you're gonna get shamed, bro. Especially if you in that type of industry. Like, that's just something where you should not be surprised. You be like, oh, I'm mad offended. It's like, yo, you know what's crazy?
Yeah.
What I really be thinking is like, these women be talking about, oh, we against this, that, but you're only fans. So like, how you saying you're against something, but you're doing what you're against?
Maybe because they might feel like that's giving them some kind of empowerment. The empowerment comes from the money, because once they have a steady source of income, they feel like they can do whatever they want. Like, they don't gotta listen to a man, they don't gotta depend on a man, so they move on how they want to.
That's what I be saying. You know, when a man get a bag, he want to elevate his lady. When a woman get a bag, she feel like she don't need a dude.
Wow. And why you feel that way?
I mean, they all move like that. Back in the day, I keep saying, like, they keep talking about they don't need a guy, but when you run to food stamps, you run into a man. When you run into food stamps, EBT, the government, that is run by a man. Man built this world. And it was always that way.
But I feel like that's more so like she's running to like the quote unquote white man.
Yeah, so it's like,
because back in the days they said that if somebody was on welfare they couldn't have a man in the house. Same thing right now, because once you got the man in the house, you're over budget, because then they have to budget in his income, and if the income is too high, then you no longer qualify for the welfare.
Exactly.
So it's like that's how they divided the home and stuff. Or the guy just didn't work a legal job. Like he did something on the side, and then he just lived up in the girl crib when they had kids and whatnot.
You see, I mean, the system always gonna be the way the system is, but
yeah, that's how women be feeling nowadays, and they feel like that even more. Like once they get their bag, it's like you said, you know, women's always looking for a bigger fish. That's what they always do. They always looking for a bigger fish. Like they never really satisfied. And most women, like,
men neither though.
Yeah, but women.
You don't think so?
Yeah, man. But this was I always say like a man loves more than a woman.
No, the Bible says that. That's why it says, men love your wife the way Christ loved the church. Take her, even make her clean. What it says?
If you took her up, I'm not cleaning. Sorry.
But make her clean as wool with the washing of the word, as in by feeding her the word of God and showing her the love of Christ. Then that's gonna help her love you. So that's why he's saying for the man, the man loves the woman, because remember it was the man that gave up his side to create the woman.
Exactly. That's why it's all men. That's why I keep saying, like, a man knows whether or not he's gonna, if he sees you as a wife. So it's like, it's really the woman. Like, but the thing is, women want to be like dudes. They want to be like dudes, but still get treated like a princess. And you cannot have two cakes, bro. Because at the end of the day, like, we as a society, we be getting the crumbs. Stimmy. All these countries got the billions. Why they give us $1,200? So it's like, women, they want to have two cakes, and we all know the way this world systems work, bro, you don't even get to eat the cake. They give you the crumbs. So they always gonna feel like that. But it's like women, a lot of women, they don't understand how society works, because especially if a woman is pretty, they just feel like they a bad coat. And in my term, a bad coat is a woman that could be able to handle herself without a man. Like, pay her bills. Not where if the man's not paying the bill, she's out here like, oh my god. You cannot call yourself that. There's levels to this. So that's what I really call a type of woman like that. But it's like all these women, they just feel like once they just pretty, they wear some fly clothes, I'm a baddie. And no, that's not a baddie. Maybe in high school, you know, that's how that system works, but once you get in the real world outside of college, that's the real world. But most women live in their head, they don't live in the real world.
And a lot of women, if today's generation of women, they view men like bank accounts. I mean, you hear city girls, you hear what they say. They say, "Oh, I'm gonna show you how to pimp up." You like, first you make him feel like this, then you take his yeah. Mm-hmm.
Get him high, then suck him dry.
Exactly. That's letting, like, that's why I keep saying, like, you know, a man's biggest downfall is himself, then there's the woman that comes second.
I mean, that's temptation in general, but I think that's always been the plight, like even that's since Genesis, you know, with Adam and Eve. That's the narrative that they sell to us. But I feel like as a man, you could use a helpmeet, meaning that someone that you could spend your life with, that give you companionship, someone to show you love and that you can trust. If you could find someone that you could have those feelings with, I think that's a great feeling. Like I think that's a beautiful thing.
I can't say nothing right now.
I mean, everybody would want that, like eventually, like one day, like whether or not, like, you know, it's now or later or whatever it may be, it'll still help out.
I say I want that, cause you know I got a lot of love for my little sister, so I can say I got a lot of love in me. It's just I just can't I can't get everybody can't get my love though. It's like it ain't gonna happen. If you give out everybody your love, then you ain't gonna have no love left.
That makes sense. I think everything in moderation. Like, I think right now we're going into a positive direction where it's like we're starting January off strong. And it's like if we could continue with the same feelings and emotions, where it's like the state of change, actually putting the emotions out, but also coming up with solutions to fix the problems and not just leave them where they at.
Yeah, that's a fact. It's
like,
always about the solutions, not the problem. That's why I keep saying, like, tough situations, when you fix them, that builds you up. It's not the winning, man. You don't learn nothing from winning. The only thing you learn is how to have fun.
Yeah.
And having fun is entertainment. And we all know what entertainment is the definition and behind entertainment, man.
One of the key phrases in psychology is resilience. As simple as it may sound, it says that those that are resilient, mighty men of valor, those are the men and women that are able to overcome different obstacles, adversity, and because they're resilient, no matter what the world throws at them, they still keep going. They're like, nah, it's not over. It's not over. It's like those are the people that psychology finds to be more successful. The people that's like, I overcame this, I overcame that, I overcame this, and I still kept going.
It's all about the overcoming stories. That's what people want to hear. That's what people want to hear more, man. Like the overcome, because that's what really builds you up. You don't learn from winning. Winning is just the aftermath of achieving, overcoming that situation. That's really what it is. You be like, oh, I overcame this. All right. Let me go out and do this or whatever, just to enjoy it. Like I did it. I got myself out the hole. That's really what the winning is here for. But when you win the championship, what you do? You just like, woo, all season, let's have fun. That's what it is. Like people gotta learn. Like, look, embrace those tough situations. Because if you don't embrace them, the tough situations is gonna control you. You don't want that to control you. Then you just lose yourself. Because a lot of people out here, they don't even control their lives. They think they do, but they really don't. Because we all know there's ways where you don't really control your life. And like, it's better to control your life, man. Like, don't let them thoughts control you.
Yeah, mastermind, you know. I think this the perfect time for us to pick ourselves back up and try to push the movement. Like, we can't look at the negative side, but we can look at the positive. Right now, I think if the youth do come together and they start making moves, even if it's small moves, a bunch of small moves adds up to big moves.
I really want to see the Fort Borough stuff, though. I wasn't joking about that one.
Nah, we can do it because there are churches in every borough.
Yeah, you got Queens came out. I don't know if they had a Bronx.
Yeah, because we've been to a few churches.
Yeah, Jersey and stuff. But yeah, I want to see y'all, man. I know a few of y'all probably watching right now. We want to see y'all. What's up? Let's do all 4 boroughs.
Yeah,
let's do outside the 4 walls or
it's gonna be like a tour.
Exactly. Cause like at the end of the day, some of these people that be scared to come out, you live in these neighborhoods.
That's true.
So it's like, why are you scared of your own neighborhood, bro? Like, come on now.
But that's one thing that I did say. Like every time we went into a neighborhood, like it was love. Like nobody ever.
Yeah, cause bro, a neighborhood could be toxic, but if you're giving back, they always gonna show you it's love. That's one thing. The neighborhood, it doesn't matter how bad a neighborhood is. It could be the dude that be doing all the stuff, and he gonna come up to you and give you love. Yeah, he might give you the love, then he go do what he do, but he's not gonna look at you that way where like wanna do something. He's just gonna like wanna show you love. It's like you give it back to his hood, and people always gonna love the non-profit where you giving back. People always love that. It don't matter what you are in life. You could be a whatever you call yourself, a toxic person, whatever, but you always gonna show love towards that, because like that's when you want to see it. But it's like, you know, you have a little toxic build up in you, so you do other stuff, but when you see the love part, you're gonna want to be a part of it or like enjoy it. Cause we all wanna. Everybody love when somebody get back. Who don't love seeing free stuff? Cause once everything free, you got a whole line. That's the best quote I could use. When everything free, you see a whole line.
Yeah, but the 48 laws of power said to curse the free lunch,
Right.
meaning that like don't get used to too many handouts. You got to go out there and get that yourself. Like you still gotta keep that animal instinct about you, like that hustler mentality.
Yeah, that's a fact. But that's the thing. Everybody think one thing's handed them, and when it's not handed them, they get in their feelings. It's like now you building up a bad, toxic habit / situation that you gotta realize, like it's you that gotta work on that, man. Not the other person. It's you. You gotta work on that, cause you the one who had those thoughts, not the other person. You did. You just probably bought those thoughts outside. Now that other person, what way he want to take it, he could match it, or he don't. But you bought it. You bought it up. You started it. But if you did it the positive, you think if you come off positive, you think the other person gonna come off negative?
Nah,
Never.
they gonna play a cut. They like, yeah, I see you showing love. So they don't touch the human aspect of it.
Exactly, because when you spread positivity, somebody's not about to spread you negativity. It's when you come off negative, then they're like, alright, the other person is otherwhere, whether they're gonna match it or they're just gonna walk away.
But then it's gonna be the people that I guess they want to do it or they haven't done it, but they hate the fact that it's you doing it that's gonna hate. Like I was speaking to someone about that today. It's like, there's people that watch every single day what people are doing, but will never contribute. Like they won't donate they won't donate their time and they won't donate their money, but then they're watching to see if you fail or if you
that's
make
what I was just about to say. I was just about to say, those people, they just want to see you fall. But it's just, they just rather stay in the cut and wait to see you fall. But yeah, you always gonna have those. In life, if you the more haters you got, that's how you know you're doing something good. That's not true.
Yeah, Fresh Montana made a whole song about it. It went platinum, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean it's true. A lot of things these rappers be saying, like, yo, it's real. Like,
if you ain't got haters, you ain't popping, nigga.
Yeah, like you ain't got haters, you ain't popping, man, because they don't know you. But when you got the haters, like doing something good, you gotta embrace the haters, man, because the more you grow up, the more haters you got. So that means you know what you doing. You knew it is something right.
Yeah,
we say hi to the haters. Hi.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting. Shout out to everybody that's been helping. Since I got the power, so why not? Since I am the iServe coordinator for the Franco-Haitian, let's try our first outreach community event to help the people in the Bronx at the building that I just burned down. They're gonna need help, right?
Nah, that's a fact.
And that's
go there. Like, why not? Like, yo, let's take the church there.
I'm calling you out.
Like, Yeah, don't be the one just posting on Instagram. Oh my goodness, come outside.
Yeah,
because everybody could go on Instagram and post like, oh, they care. But who's really gonna come outside and show that they care?
Yeah. So this Saturday at convention, I know that we're supposed to have a meeting. So I'm gonna bring that up at the meeting and see what's up with that, and see if we could really put that into motion, and see if we could really do something out there. I know that there's Willis Avenue SDA Church out there. That's a big church. And we're gonna see which other Bronx SDA Church. Like there's a couple of SDA churches out in the Bronx, so we could reach out to them and see if we could do something collectively together. So that'll be real dope.
Get outside the box for once.
Yeah, facts. So you have any closing thoughts?
You know, my closing thought is, go get therapy, man. Therapy is normal. Stop letting the stereotype of therapy is crazy, so crazy people fool you, because then that's when you turn crazy.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I'm gonna start soon, really soon working with a psychologist. So we're gonna start doing that therapy thing, and one of the suggestions was to do like a group therapy session and continue it even for like the church side, and to do it at multiple churches, like where we could have like group therapy and just talk about how we feel. So that's another point I'm gonna bring up, and we're gonna see how that works out. And all these ideas, just hand them to us. We're gonna put them into motion, and the biggest impact is gonna be like this is gonna be with people in person.
Yeah, it's the in-person interaction that really touches people. So like that's why I keep saying the internet is fake, bro. Like you can't feel through the internet. Cause I can't. I feel through person, not internet. I rather reality more than the internet. The internet is just fun to me. Like it's just entertainment for fun. And I understand those concepts in turn. That's why I don't let the internet control me. Like live a little, come outside, man.
Yeah. My closing thought is just like, let's continue this same energy. Like last year, we was a little bit more flamboyant, but this year we're gonna try to be a little more humble, but humble in the sense that like we gonna be part of the solution and part of the healing, or at least try to be and help those that might need it. And now that we got a bigger platform to stand upon, and we have more partners, we could see if we could really make a difference in the community and hopefully the world. So thank you for watching The Real Word tonight, and shout out to everybody that's been watching, everybody that's been supporting, everybody that's helped us to get this far so far. Let's close out with a prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for all your many blessings that you bestowed upon us. We thank you for your continued blessings that you have put on us, your continued protection that you have put around us, helping us to do your work and continue to move forward, Lord. We ask you to order our steps in the things that we do. We ask you to continue to lead us in the path of righteousness, protect us as brothers, protect us as brothers and sisters, and everybody that's working collectively, Lord. And we ask you to help us with anything that we may be going through personally, and that we continue to work in unity as we continue to help one another. As we pray in the name of your Son, Yeshua. Amen. So thank you for watching. Good night. God bless.
Drink water.
It's the real word. It's the real